Hello and welcome back to Out of Her Mind, the podcast with Kobe Pollock. I'm your host, NLP practitioner, breathwork facilitator, a registered nurse, mum of two boys, and you can probably hear my geese in the background because we live on a little farm too. I'm so excited to have two of my closest friends, business NLP colleagues, and beautiful women in this space today. I have Lena Fitzgerald and Tamara McMahon with me. Thank you for being here, ladies.
Oh, our pleasure.
All right. So we're just going to really go with the flow and have some fun today in this podcast. We've spoken a little bit about a couple of concepts that we want to talk about, though I think when we get together, things just flow. And I truly believe that things are meant to go when they need to be. And that if you're listening to this, this is the space that you need to be in. So I would love to start with you, Lena, because you're closest on my left there. Tell me, who are you?
Who am I? Big question. So I'm Lena and I'm the founder of Lena Marie Inspired. So I'm a mindset coach for women, and my drive for this is I want women to awaken to their inner worth and their inner knowing and know that they can actually create a life that feels really authentic and true to them. That's my big mission in what I do, and I do this through coaching and I do this through women's circles and a few, other little containers that I have going on. So I just want to reach as many women as I can and create impact for them.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for being here. And where are you based? Where do you live?
I'm based in Mildura, Victoria. So we are in the north, top of Victoria.
Amazing. And I am in Bundaberg in Queensland, Australia. And Tamara, it's your turn. Where are you and who are you?
Well, I am based in Kununurra, which is the top of Western Australia and a very beautiful remote town. So things are a little bit different for us up here. And that is one of the reasons why I specialize in supporting rural women. So my name is Tamara McMahon. I, as well as these two beautiful ladies, are a master practitioner in NLP, as well as a breathwork facilitator. I am the founder of Transforming Minds, where I specialize in supporting these rural women to create deep holistic transformation through the mind, the body, and the soul. There's a certain challenge I find women that are remote and rural face that perhaps might be a little bit different to metro. The support gets to be a little bit different too. I'm so blessed to have this unique area to run my business in. However, I have clients all over Australia with the beauty of technology these days. And to have us three come together in 3 different time zones is absolutely incredible and shows the powerful side that technology.
Yeah. And it shows how we're not limited to connect with just those people around us. For us in this space, so we all did our training together, our original NLP training together, and connected through that space. And though we have continued to stay in touch, to hold each other accountable, to support each other in our businesses, in our lives, most days we will drop in a chat to connect with each other. I actually, in the chat the other day, I made a comment to the girls and I was like, I look at how long your message is, and the longer it is, the more excited I get because it's like I'm actually spending time with you. And if it's shorter, I get a little bit sad because I'm not spending as much time with these ladies. And it's just amazing how we can actually be so far away from each other, be living these different lives, and yet we are still so connected to each other as well. And that connection is powerful.
That was the word that just came to my mind too, Kobe. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's just so powerful.
Definitely. So tell me, why do you think that connection, that accountability, being able to call each other out on things, being able to support each other through things, why do you think that, or how has that helped you guys?
With our confidence as well. I want to kind of share a little bit of a story. Growing up, especially entering the workforce, I actually looked forward to going to work. I had all these beautiful work colleagues that would be my friends. We would have coffee together. We would go out after work. We had like the best karaoke nights, just FYI. Just singing and being silly together and dancing. And I feel like the biggest shift for me going from like the employee mindset to an entrepreneur is you have all this freedom to run your own business. But some of the things you miss out on is that connection and the loneliness and being isolated, right? Because everything is on you. And to have you guys together in my corner, it's like having those work colleagues again. Not only for like the personal stuff, when you get to work and have like chats about whatever over coffee and what's going on in your life, but also about patients and clients and things like that. So having that connection, especially being so remote for me, where there's no other NLP practitioners in my space, really helps me like personally. And I've had to drop my ego for that. I've had to like be open and honest with you guys. I've had to create that community intentionally so that I can be supported. What I'm playing with this year is if you want a village, be a villager. So I am supporting you both and in turn allowing you to support me, which is what I think I truly needed.
Yeah.
Gosh, I completely feel the same and agree with everything that you've just said. To have this connection and this space that we get to land in, like I said, not just for advice for ourselves, but to come in here and land in terms of our businesses and all facets of that, the structure of the business, the platforms we use, the tools that we use with clients, all of the things. To have this space to come in and land, it 1,000% doesn't make you feel so isolated in what you do, because like you said, like I'm also working from home, so I am by myself quite a lot in my own company, and whilst I do love that, it can just feel lonely. And for someone that does love connection, I absolutely love this space, all levels that it brings, and that we can actually come in here and bring all of ourselves as well. And you're right, you do have to drop the ego, because sometimes we often can call ourselves out on our own BS, really. But that's what we love, and that's what we almost expect now of each other, just to be really authentic and honest, and as well as the flip side of that of being the big cheerleaders and all the things. So
Yeah, calling us up too. Like,
absolutely, it's
I-
expansive. It's expansive. Like I mentioned another time, that whilst we do also, have and do and have previously and maybe now have other people that are supporting us in terms of coaches or in mentorships or whatever it is, being able to learn from that and then bring it in here. So we share the growth and we share the knowledge, and this space actually becomes just so expansive. And yeah, the growth that we have in here on, in life, in business, in confidence, absolutely confidence, it's phenomenal. And we also created this way.
Definitely.
It's effort to be connecting. It's effort to maintain connection.
Vulnerability too.
Absolutely. It's easy to just disconnect and think, I can do this, or I can't be bothered, or whatever story that you tell yourself. But when you put in the effort, yes, I don't have time. But when you put in the effort, we have this, right? We've maintained and held this because it is like so important. I love being here.
It's great. It started raining. Can you hear the rain?
yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
It's like,
I'm just going to see if I plug my headphones in, if it's actually going to.
It sounds like a river. It must be a lot of rain.
yeah,
Is it a problem? All right. Can you hear me okay?
I
can
can still
hear
hear the
you.
rain.
Can also hear the rain.
Let's trust in that and that it will be fine. All right. Where do you want to go now?
What was your next question?
I would love to leave the listeners with some tips or tools or ways that they can start to, I guess, maybe bring this sort of community into their world. So maybe, I lost all my questions. I didn't like them. So I'm just going with it.
Recently, a few of the women in my world have felt this growth, right? They felt this, they want more, and have had an awareness around the circles that they're in not always nurturing that. So
Mm.
they have put themselves out there a little bit and have attended like women's circles, for example.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I guess that comes with first, it's that awareness around this space right now is not serving me. And
Mhm.
here's where we get to maybe the table analogy.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I can see it in your
Totally.
face.
Like the moving though. Like it's
Yeah.
maybe
Like that
that's the key
that push
takeaway.
pull of yes, no,
Mm.
maybe, safety, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's that first thing? The first thing from what I believe is awareness first, right?
I think that's the beginning of everything.
Going, okay, where I am now is not supporting me. Maybe those
Co-
thoughts that I'm having.
Maybe we could go a
Yeah.
step back from that though, and the feelings of this isn't what I want to talk about anymore. This doesn't feel so easy anymore to be in this space. This doesn't feel
This is exactly
connective
what
as much
Tamara.
and not
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's an identity shift too, maybe, Toby.
Yes.
Like talking about
Yeah.
how like we know we're going through that identity shift with the awareness, but then how do we actually do that and maybe
Mm.
what that looked like for us.
Mm.
And this space that we've created has been part of the support we've intentionally put in place.
So do we go back to like that first step? Like the thing that came up for me then was what made me want change in my life and to go, I need something to change in my life and work with a coach. And for me, that was hitting my rock bottom and not wanting to live anymore.
Yes.
And
I
I
think
had to make a change.
And then for me, it was motherhood. It was becoming a mother.
Yeah.
I'm challenged to find a point in my life where I didn't feel like there was more for me. And though the story that I continually told myself that it's too hard to think about, I don't know what that is, just kept me in the same loop. So it actually was, and it just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I just kept pushing it down. And it was actually when I had to be disconnected from my work and sit at my table during COVID that the disconnect and the feeling of there's got to be more, like just it hit an all-time high for me to the point where I was just struggling to do anything but cry, actually. Everything just put me in the feels and I was so confused and all I wanted was clarity and a knowing of what I was here to do. Yeah.
That's so many women can relate to
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And
So I've since realized. Yes.
And so many women can relate to the motherhood thing too, Tamara.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then
Speaking of
you-
identity shift.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got the other women who can relate to working as a nurse, caring for everyone else, and then burning out to the point of not wanting to live anymore. There's so many women that this speaks to. So once you hit that point and knew that you wanted that change, something needed to shift, how did you take that next step?
Me personally, it was a very slow step. It was little bits of change. It was actually starting to work on myself. I had no idea what personal development was as a new mum. I was just really unhappy. The medical system didn't support me as a new mum. I tried to go get help for like postnatal depression and it became so challenging that I just didn't. So starting to listen to podcasts, starting to read books, starting to question myself was a huge one and changing my circle because my mother's group at the time I thought was supporting me. We would all get around for coffee with our new babies until it didn't, right? Until I realized I'm like, hang on a second, we're just getting around a big circle and just bitching about how hard our babies are.
Yeah.
And that's no longer serving me because you either felt guilty because you had a baby that slept through the night, or you felt, like your baby was the worst and perhaps there's something wrong with you as a mother. So yeah, when I realized that that environment wasn't really serving me, I had to intentionally look at what could be supporting and what friends actually give me energy versus take energy. And that was probably the first time that I really looked at and audited my life. I was very drained. Obviously, sleep deprivation does that to you, losing your identity or changing. And yeah, I highly encourage you all just to audit where you're at if you're wanting to change and shift through that.
Thank you, Sharon. How did you take your next step?
So for me, I knew I needed someone to help me. And I got my phone and I opened up Instagram and I was just like, I need someone, like something. And I scrolled for a little bit. And at the time, Instagram, well, it still is the only platform that I still, scrolled through. And I came across a 12-week program. And when I was reading all about it, I was tick, 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 tick. And the guy that was running it was actually originally from the town that I'm in. So I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So I just connected with him and I was like, hey, I am really interested in this. And so we got chatting and I ended up jumping in that 12-week container and it just opened my eyes. It was my first time diving into personal development. I really didn't know what to expect. And the things that I discovered or rediscovered about myself that I'd forgotten was like it just cracked something open inside of me and I wanted more. But what this container also gave me that I was in is I got to meet women, like-minded women that were feeling the same or, looking for that thing. And I was like, wow, these are my people. And I still stay connected to a couple of them. But it sort of just sent me on a path of the next thing that I wanted to work on. Who was that? And so I just went down the coaching realm and until I discovered that NLP was actually truly what I wanted to know. And that was what I knew would make the impact that I wanted to have. So I actually just reached out to someone that I felt could help me. And that was my first step.
Yeah, beautiful. And that, like, I can relate to both of yours so much as well. So for me, I was at that point where I had panic attacks. I was no longer allowed to work. I had to take 5 months off work. I was suicidal and knew something had to change. And again, I had connected with someone on Instagram, my first coach who I did a 12-week course with. And it started to change my beliefs almost automatically, because as soon as I reached out to her, that changed something in my mind to go, if I can actually reach out and have that strength to reach out to someone, to talk to someone, maybe other things can change in my life. And it just started snowballing like 3 weeks in, and we put an offer on on a farm, which was never in my plans beforehand. And it just shows how quickly things can change once you start to challenge those thoughts and stories that you have in your mind and those beliefs as well.
I think it's also challenging your capacity. Like I had a belief when I was younger that I could only hold so much. And for me, last year, 2025 was like a huge year for me. And that could only have happened because I have challenged that belief and grown my capacity. We grossly underestimate our abilities as humans. We can do so much more than we think we can.
Yeah, do you know that I ran a marathon? Like, never would I thought. Like, ridiculous. We can do anything.
Right? And we just
Absolutely.
get on by sometimes, or we think we can't, or
Why do we think we can't?
so the way our brain works is we base things off our past. So I think a large part has to do with obviously like social norms. Not everyone runs a marathon, Kobe.
Anyone can.
Anyone can,
Just have to
but not anyone
choose.
does, which is really interesting. And then we take that data and then we apply it to our own lives without questioning it.
There takes a bit of courage in the uncertainty too. And that just leads on with the capacity, right? The capacity to hold that. But to get to that point where you actually know that you are willing to trust somebody to guide you, to help you, that takes a lot, because I know through past experience and the experience of a lot of women that I work with, uncertainty is the fear that keeps them stuck. Stepping into, like, expanding your capacity to step into that uncertainty, to connect with people that, may help you or do the things that are going to challenge you. It's pretty big and it's pretty great, and anybody can do it. The key first step, I would believe, is taking responsibility for yourself and allowing someone or something to help you if that's what you need, that you don't have to do it alone.
And I would also add to that, like, vulnerability. there's a lot of shame that keeps you stuck in your own little world because everything might be good, but not great, or you might be wanting more, but we're told we should be grateful for what we have. And it can be really confusing. And for me, shame, but I wasn't coping as well as I should have been, kept me stuck. So to have that courage to be vulnerable with a coach or reach out and get help is probably what I needed as my first step. And then it kind of snowballs from there.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. You know, for a very long time, and I know many women can relate to this, is keeping up the mask that everything's okay, everything's fine, I'm fine, and life looking from someone else looking in looks absolutely great. And we become accustomed to keeping those masks up to appease others or make it look really great. And though the belief in the smile that you're holding doesn't always feel like true to you. Like it can be, sometimes we smile and perform because we think that we should or we have to, or we, like I said, hold that mask up, and it comes from a place of, you know, not wanting to be judged or all those things. But when you can actually be that person, like the smile and the joy, but actually have it from a place of self-belief and embodiment, that's what I want women to feel.
Yeah.
Deep in my, like, that's just, yeah.
And I think that snowball effect of being vulnerable is actually ourselves finding the evidence, is reaching on social media like we do,
Absolutely.
or even just writing it in a journal for yourself, being vulnerable with yourself about what's going on and those actual thoughts that you're having, those stories and telling us.
The only constant in life is change. You look at nature, everything's mirrored back, right? We're looking for certainty, but often we're looking for certainty in identity, which aren't necessarily linked because we change every day. We change with our cycles and our hormone levels. We change with the season that we're in life. Like I've got little kids. That is a season in itself. Lena's at the other end, aren't you, Lena? And that's a
Yes.
whole another
Yes.
phase in a cycle, and we're constantly changing, and that's okay.
I think something else that's just dropped in for me is if you don't have that evidence being vulnerable for you to feel confident enough to take it, find that evidence in someone else. Like we've all done it. We took those steps and it worked for us. There's so many other women that have done it as well, that are modeling this. So if you see someone that has done it before, model them. Do what they've done.
I think that comes into also the importance of sharing the work that we do and allowing clients to, you know, provide those testimonials or speak on our platforms or whatever that looks like, to be able to share their story, because most women want that evidence and they want to hear of how much their life has changed and where it's gone from and where it is now. And so they know that that actually truly is available to them. It's not just us speaking words. There's actually something supporting that from women, you know, at any season in life, actually, like, because that's the thing. We all go through our different seasons, and I am in a very different season to you guys right now, having younger kids and my kids being older. The capacity to embrace the change with the seasons, that's when you actually get to really step into life fully and feel it, rather than, you know, live in your head, which is where a lot of us have and sometimes do live.
Presence, right?
Mhm.
It's actually being able to be in the moment and enjoy it, rather than wishing you were somewhere else, wishing the kids were older or younger or whatever it is for you. It's the ability to actually enjoy it. And
Yeah.
what also comes to mind is I delivered a session inside my container a couple of months ago about seasons and phases that we go through, like the winters and the spring and the summer. And they all have like their own unique quality. And we want to be in summer all the time. We need our winter. Yes, you get to decide how long you stay there for and everything like that. But there's a beauty that comes from surrendering to that moment and actually fully living that season in that moment for what it is going to give you down the track.
Yes, and exactly. And a great example of this right now is the fact that it is pouring with rain here in Bundaberg, and I could be going, my God, this is terrible. This podcast is ruined. What are we going to do? All right, let's just give up. Let's turn this off. Or what I've done, which is trusting that, okay, there's going to be something that I can cancel this noise out. Our conversation is going to be great. And the women that listen to this will get what they need, because this is a season. The rain is pouring down right now, literally.
The timing.
Yeah. So how can we embrace that?
I think
really
it's to
savor that?
embrace the realness. Like we're just three humans at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Sure, we have big missions on our hearts, but it's also bringing, like the realness back to like ourselves, to the listeners that listen to this, our clients. We are whole beings. Our work is part of who we are and our identity. Yeah, it's this beautiful, authentic connection that we've all made with ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
That's that embodiment piece, right? Not just talking the talk, but walking the walk and actually being an embodiment of what we want for women, albeit we have moments where, we might be pulled back into past beliefs or think, because we are human. Like we are human. And this also highlights the importance of having people around you that can hold you in that, but also call you forward when, you can. I know if either of you see me falling back into a past belief or holding back from doing something, that you are going to hold me accountable for that and call me forward on that. And yeah, and like another thing that I absolutely love about you guys, but yeah, the importance of placing yourself around people that are going to support you. I think that ties back to that really, really great.
I think even the frog agrees.
Yeah. Don't cancel that out, Kobe. That's really cool.
I'll keep the frog in there. All right. I feel like the women listening, if they've recognized that, okay, the space that I'm in is not supporting me, maybe the friends that I have, maybe even the workplace that I have or my family, so what do I need to do to start to shift that?
My answer would be get some tools in your tool belt, and you can either get that through a coach or whatever that might look like for you. You guys are one of the tools in my tool belt. When I'm wanting to shift and I need an outside perspective, then I get to message you guys. I get to connect. I get to get feedback that I know, but not necessarily want to hear myself. And I also use other tools like breath work and meditation. And I'm not a journaler. I am beginning to be a journaler now. Thanks to
You're
Kobe and
learning.
Lena. I'm learning. Yes, just gain some resources and some tools. If you're really wanting to change, like thinking you want to change is one thing. Taking the action to learn the tools is what's actually going to help you.
Definitely 1,000% agree with that. I would also add that changing your environment or looking for a space or a community or something that interests you, that you could find the like-minded people. And what comes to mind straight away for that is when I was in this, like I'd done this personal development and I was like, I really like connection face to face. It's one of my favorite things. How can I create this for me? So I found a woman locally that it was a full moon circle. Like, okay, I'm in, let's do it. And I attended that full moon circle and it was so beautiful. It actually ignited my love of women's circles. That's how it was created. But the woman that I joined that night, not only did I meet a circle of women, but she's actually now one of my best friends. And we collaborate with our women's circles now every month, and it's so beautiful. So not only did I, she came into my world or I came into hers, then another lady that, I live locally and our town's not very big. Most people know people. I didn't know these women existed. So the more you step into that personal development and looking for those things that you desire for yourself, people come into your world that reflect this as well. And there's a whole lot of trust and surrender in the universe. And that's a whole lot of woo-woo that maybe we could talk about.
That'll be the next
hour another time.
podcast.
Yeah. But when you actually trust that whatever's next will unfold for you, people come into your world. And I remember being told that and thinking, okay, but they really do. And I have the evidence for that as well. So placing yourself in situations that you may find interesting, although albeit uncomfortable, and, working out what feels great to you and those people around you. And yeah, so I would think trying new things or doing something that you believe would help your growth, support
Yeah.
you to find what you're looking for?
I did something similar, Lena. When I moved towns, I had no friends, no connections, knew nobody, no family. And I was like, how do I find my people? And it was sitting down and working out what I wanted. And I decided to run a mother-daughter circle, and I met some of my best friends who introduced me to other networks. They do like a homemaker swap, which was also aligned, and I met some more friends. So if you're either new or even in an older place you haven't moved like I had at the time, it still applies. It's continue to do the things that light you up and you'll find all these new pockets of friends. It's like dating, right? You
You're not
just
going to like it
continue
all.
and you continue to do you. And then you'll meet somebody who has the same interests in you. It's kind of like dating for friends. Hey, interesting.
It
It's
is.
dating for your
Oh,
future identity.
yes.
Yeah.
Dating for your village, for your circle.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of where you
Friends
are
too.
now. Sorry, group. Which is kind of where you are now, Tamara. You're
It
dating
is.
for your village.
I was so grateful on Tuesday when all of my boxes arrived to unpack my house. I had 2 offers to drop me off coffee to fuel me to unpack those boxes. And it was such a moment of like, wow, like the effort to catch up, the effort to create my village, and then having the ability to accept that too. Because in the past, I used to be a lone wolf, right? I could do everything by myself. And to really not only have those offers, but also accept it has really shown me my own growth.
Amazing.
Yay. Okay, let's close our eyes for a moment. Deep breath in through the nose. If you're driving, do not close your eyes. Just take a deep breath in and a sigh out, and another out of your mind and into your body. And let this podcast, this conversation settle. There's been many different threads and messages in this. And I wonder for our listeners if there's something in particular that stood out for them. I would love you now, Tamara and Lena, just to share what is your biggest takeaway, or what is that one message that you'd like to share with women out there?
I believe that the change that you are desiring or the fulfillment that you want for yourself will begin the moment that you decide you want differently. And to support that decision is to take one step of action, just one step, just one reach out, just one step in moving the needle forward to get the support or the help that you need to move from where you are now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tamara.
I think for me, I would encourage the women listening to be really vulnerable with themselves and to work out who they really want to be in the future. And then how do they need to create that life? So how do they change up their friend circle? How do they get the support they want? And what would that look like for them to be able to change? Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy with where you're at, then that's actually on you.
Yeah, take action. And I would like to finish the podcast off by sharing the symbolism of the frog that has been here with us this whole time. And I just looked it up and it blows my mind every time when these things happen. So the frog is often regarded as a symbol of metamorphosis. It's the quintessential emblem of transformation. Just as it undergoes a profound metamorphosis from tadpole to adult, so too does it represent personal change and growth. It encourages us to embrace change, adapt to new circumstances, and accept the cycles of life. I think that just
I don't
says
know
it
about you.
all.
Full body goosebumps for me as soon as you started speaking about that. Wow.
Absolutely amazing. If you are listening to this podcast, embrace that change, that transformation. This is your sign to step forwards and take action in your life, because no one else is going to do it for you. And we are all here right behind you. Now, ladies, can you share where listeners can find you if they are wanting to learn more about you and what you do?
I am purely on Instagram. So you can find me at Lena_Fitzgerald. I coach women, a lot of women face to face here in Mildura. And I also have women that I coach online for wherever you are, it is possible to work together. I run monthly women's circles here locally and soon to launch a new program that's coming out and relaunch a container that I'll be holding in May. That's where you can find me.
Amazing. Tell us the name of that new container that's coming out.
Oh, should we make this an exclusive? Because I haven't released.
Have you not?
Yes.
Oops.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? So the program that I'll be releasing is called Unlock Her.
Amazing.
And it is truly about stepping into or recognizing that you do have an inner authority. And it's currently in the process of being put together. And I will release that by the end of the month.
Amazing. Watch this
Oh,
space. So
yay.
exciting.
Oh my gosh, I've never said those words out loud to anyone. That's exciting.
It's so great. All right, Tamara, where can people find you?
So they can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Tamara McMahon, as well as my website, which is tamaramcmahoncoaching.com/info. And it's got all of my services. I'm really excited to be setting up my in-person office. So if you are in Kununurra or traveling through, then we can have face-to-face sessions. Otherwise, I host them over Zoom.
Amazing. And with this being the space of maybe announcing things, I am saying it out loud right now that there will be a retreat in Kununurra in the future. It's out there in the universe, mainly because I actually want to go to Kununurra.
Yes, me too.
And be there. So there will be a retreat happening.
Yes.
Watch this space and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
And think like gorgeous waterfalls, hot springs, natural hot springs, nature, a real beautiful time to not only like drop into the feminine, but get that beautiful healing from nature.
Yes, just jump on Tamara's Instagram and check out all
Yeah.
of the amazing waterfalls up there. It's so great.
And
I
then
love
you'll get
it.
the both of us. We'll get like this beautiful power duo. And Lena, trio if you
Maybe
decide to
three of
jump
us
on
if
over
Lena
here.
joins in.
Yes, I could do with we're in literally the opposite landscape to you right now, like completely. And so a waterfall to me just feels like heaven.
Yeah. The healing that
Yeah,
comes
I'm
naturally
in.
from that.
Amazing.
Sounds
Exciting.
beautiful.
So thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. Please like, subscribe and share. And you can find all of my links in the show notes in relation to this podcast to see what I'm up to and what's going on for me as well.